Welcome everybody to the Blacktop Podcast, man. Got a special Blacktop Podcast edition here with Coach Ed Gladney, S. God in the building, and Big Pat Sports Talk. We're gonna give y'all a little March Madness, man. It's March, man. Got to get the madness cracking. You already know what it is. NBA playoffs coming up. WNBA season starting soon. So a lot to get into, man. Y'all hit that like button, and we're going to be right back right after the intro. Let's go. All right, let's get into it, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Welcome to another edition of the Blacktop Podcast. We got March Madness action going on right now. So y'all got a peep game. Y'all got to peep what's going on. I keep it locked here, but I gotta say, one upset already. One upset, y'all. Check it out. Clemson going down to McNeese.
Yeah, McNeese State, crazy. Always happens, bro.
69 to 67. Brackets have been busted. Bust it up already, man.
Yeah.
So, what you think about this, K, man? What you think about Clemson, who's in the ACC? ACC been real down this year. What you think about that, man? Clemson getting upset in the first round. I mean,
you know, it's kind of weird that they was calling this upset like a couple of days ago, a week ago, or something like that with McNeese State. They was like, there was a 7-point underdog, and they was like, they're gonna cover it. This game is gonna be a close game because the way McNeese State play, and that's the thing about the tournament. You run into teams that play the style that you don't play, or what I'm saying is like, so they always mix match them so that way, but like, your weakness is who you play sometimes, so it's like, and this was like, the one team they'd be like, this is the team you don't want to run up against. It's like, this is the team you don't want to run up against. And McNeese State, like I said, they play great defense. They're a team that's like, they're very active and live, you know what I'm saying? And at one point in this game, it was at 32-13 in the first half. At halftime, it was 32-13. Wow. Clemson only scored 13 points at halftime. And I was talking to him because I was in the barbershop. I was talking to my boy. I was like, man, it's like, man, Coach K, if somebody would have pulled the whole starters out and put the bench in there, like, you got to tell these guys, this is the playoffs. This, what I'm saying? This is for all the marbles. You can't just be coming out here playing any way. You got to be ready to play. And Clemson was not ready to play in the first half. They came back in the second half. They made it a game because they was down 20-something, but they came back, and it was just, they just didn't have enough time. They ran out of time. But like I said, I saw this coming, man, with Clemson and McNeese State. It's like, it was going to be a very close game and stuff like that. I thought Clemson would pull it out, but they didn't. And, yeah, I was surprised that, they lost.
Pat, I want to ask you a question, bro. With a team like McNeese State, how do you think they get the confidence to beat a powerhouse team like Clemson, 5th overall seed in the field of 64, 68, whatever it is now?
Teams like McNeese State, man, those number 12 seeds, 13 seeds, man, they got nothing to lose, man. They got nothing to lose, and those teams that they play got everything to lose. So they're not nervous going out there. They're going out there, look, we're gonna give everything that we got. And a lot of those teams that are, supposed to be in the next round, they get a little nervous playing those teams, man. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of those teams like McNeese State, and there be some brothers out there playing. Brothers,
yeah,
they be going out there,
boys.
bro. Just getting busy out there, man. And it's hard. It's hard to keep those dudes under wraps, man. I'm just being honest with you. And they just wind up beating them. And you see it happen every year. It's if you don't pick at least one number 12 team and one number 13 seed, 14 seed to make it, your bracket's gonna be busted every year. It happens it never fails, bro. It never fails.
Never fails. And other scores, Purdue beating High Point 75-63. Number 4, Purdue taking care of High Point. Wisconsin beating up on Montana 85-66. Houston over SIU Edwardsville 78-40. Auburn, number 1 seed Auburn 83. Alabama State, shout out to Alabama State, 83-63. Taking them down. VCU, that was my upset special. Almost got it done. Come on, VCU. Losing to BYU 80-71. BYU moving on. Gonzaga. Told y'all Gonzaga. Watch out. Watch out for the Zags.
Always been a good team.
89-68 over Georgia. Tennessee taking care of Wofford 77-62. And that is the score roundup so far. In action, we got Arkansas 79-72 over Kansas.
Another upset there.
Woo. Texas A&M beating Yale 73-62. Drake 43-30 over Missouri. And early in the first quarter, UCLA 3-0 over Utah State. Now, Coach, talk us through this, man. How would you get a team you're coaching prepared for a tournament like this, knowing that it's just one and done? Because so many of these high-ranking teams, I think they underestimate some of these smaller schools, and they go in lackadaisical and not well prepared from a coaching standpoint. So talk to us, bro.
Well, I do think the teams are coached properly. It's just that the kids are kids. You're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds, and no matter what, human nature, they're going to go by, sometimes they're going to say, well, they're at a smaller conference. We should be able to walk all over them, and they don't respect them. They got to learn how to respect the game. And that sometimes is the problem. And, Pat alluded to it. Once you get into the course of the game, pressure busts pipes. And the kids start to feel the pressure, and they start to realize, oh, these kids can play. And they forget that, these kids were on the AAU circuit just like them. They played in high school. Maybe they weren't starters, but they were still good ball players, and they just still didn't learn to respect them. And when they get to college, some of these kids, they develop. You also run into a situation where sometimes some of these bigger schools have a lot of one and dones, but these mid-majors have 4 years. So, you're going to run into teams that have kids that are 24, even 25-year-old, maybe even a 26-year-old. So you're playing against grown-ass men who, understand what it takes to, prepare themselves and go out there. Hey, they may not be athletically as gifted as some of these, power, however you want to categorize it, top conference schools, but a lot of these schools are going out there with 18, 19-year-old kids playing against grown-ass men too. So, and it just comes down to a coach can prepare you. But when you go out there on the court, it's still about the kids. Nothing a coach can do. It's about the kids. How are they handling the situation out there? So sometimes it is coaching. But sometimes, bottom line, it's just the kids out there and who they're going up against.
I'm gonna give you one gold nugget that nobody talks about, and there's a little secret. The reason those number 12 seeds are there are because those are the best teams from those conferences that you're playing. You're playing the champions. You're playing the champions from those other conferences, and you might think it's on paper look like a mismatch, but it's really not, because you're playing the best team, not the JV team of that conference.
That's good, man. That's good, man. So we got Colorado State 12 seed, McNeese State, who we talked about. We also have Liberty, man. Shout out to Liberty, man, out there in Lynchburg, VA. You know, my second home, current home, but you know, UC San Diego, the other 12 seed. So out of these 4 12 seeds, who y'all think gonna go the furthest? I know it's a random question, but man, it's Blacktop Podcast, man.
He said, what's the names?
UNC San Diego State going up against Michigan. So,
yeah, Michigan's only a 2-point favorite in that game.
I actually got UC San Diego winning that game.
Yeah, that's what some people have. Yeah.
So let's
because you said the keywords are going the furthest. So look at each sector, and you got to me, you got to look at, you know, what's the possible matchups going forward after that. So you know, it's kind of hard just to sit here and say, okay,
UC San Diego. Yeah, if UC San Diego beat Michigan, they ain't beating Texas A&M.
They got to play Texas A&M the next round. You have Auburn in that. You have Auburn in that bracket. Creighton in that bracket. You have North Carolina, Go Hill in that bracket. Iowa State's also in that bracket, as is Michigan State.
It's a tough bracket. So look at the other ones.
All right, let's go over to the East bracket. You got Duke. You got Baylor, Mississippi State. I think Baylor might be a sleeper team here. You have Arizona, always a tough team. You got Alabama. And that's there. Oh yeah. Right. So and you also have St. Mary's. Don't sleep on St. Mary's. Always a tough tournament team as well.
St. Mary's giving Vanderbilt a huge scare.
I think they beat Vanderbilt, but
Vanderbilt can get them, but I think St. Mary's wins that, but they get punished by Alabama in the next round.
What's your thoughts on the East bracket, Cave?
Yeah, that's a tough bracket, man. That's my bracket. Duke is in that bracket with Alabama. You know, Alabama's in that bracket. Is Wisconsin in that bracket?
Yes, they are. They beat
Wisconsin,
Montana.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a tough team. Baylor, Baylor's a tough team too. You know what I'm saying? Come tournament time, man. But it's a gauntlet, bro. It's a gauntlet in the East bracket, man. That's one tough. That's gonna be a tough. Alabama's gonna be tough.
Slouch.
Oregon's no. That's what I'm saying. That's a tough bracket, man. Murderous row. We just call it murderous row.
Murderous row. Speaking of murderous row, Coach, talk to us about the West bracket. We got Florida, we got UConn, we got Memphis, Colorado State's in there, Maryland, Drake, and you have Arkansas and St. John's, the Johnnies who kick off at 9:55 tonight. What's your thoughts on that bracket?
Yeah, that's tough. You got 2 Big East conference teams in there. And you know, when you play in the Big East, you're going to come. Florida has been playing some good basketball all year, you know, coming from the SEC. And we see this year the SEC has really played some good basketball. I mean, the Big Ten, while it's not strength in numbers, the top teams have been very, very good. You know, when I was going through and I was taking a look at it, and, you know, Maryland is well coached, and they seem to, you know, thrive on, in a sense, I was reading one article where they felt like they were being looked upon as the little brothers, the underdogs, and they feel like they have something to prove. So Texas Tech coming from the Big 12. Big 12 is a good basketball conference. You know, it may not be as elite as it once was, but a lot of those teams. I mean, you got Houston in there who was really kicking everybody's ass for the most part this year. So, you know, I mean, this section is just a tough. As we see, every last one of them are tough. So you can't sleep on the top teams, and you can't sleep on the mid majors. You really can't. You know, teams now are really being tested. You know, the mid majors, they want to prove to the big boys because they're the ones getting the money. They're the ones getting the money, and they want to say, well, you know what? We can play with you guys too. Don't think just because we're at a mid major we can't play. You know, we just may not be as talented, but we could be a better team collectively than what you're putting out there on the court. So, you know, right now, all these divisions are they're very tough.
Absolutely, man. So let's talk about the last division here, the Midwest Division. We have Houston, who took care of business against SIU Edwardsville. The Zags, man, one of my sleeper teams, always handling business, took care of Georgia. McNeese State, we already talked about. Purdue taking care of High Point. And Illinois versus Xavier, Kentucky versus Troy, UCLA taking on Utah State right now, and Tennessee moving on versus Wofford.
Xavier might give Illinois a go.
I was gonna say, who's your upset special in this bracket, Coach?
I mean, Illinois. I was actually watching Unsportsmanlike, and because Michelle Smallman, she's a graduate of Illinois, and you know, they were teasing her, and she's like, "Yeah, I know Xavier's tough. You know, coming from the Big East, Xavier always plays, you know, that tough Midwest type of basketball. Coming from, I believe they're in Cincinnati. I know they're from Ohio, so and you know she always said it kind of concerns her, you know, that they have to face them, and I think that's one that, you know, you have to consider. That could be an upset special.
For sure, man. Pat, looking at this bracket, bro, what do you think, or who do you think could be in that final four contention right here, man? Who's your pick for this bracket, man, for the final four, man? You got some good teams. Like I said, Houston, the Zags, Purdue, Kentucky's in there, Tennessee. I mean, you said Tennessee.
Yeah, I got Tennessee making the final four. You go up towards the top of the bracket.
What about Houston?
Houston is.
Get past Purdue. I think they beat Gonzaga. I think Purdue beats McNeese State. Oh man, I gotta go with Purdue. Tennessee, Purdue. You know I'm going Florida. And I'm gonna pick the Cinderella team. I say St. John's gets in there. It's time for them to get back in there.
St. John's, the Johnnies. I like it.
St. John's is in the same with Florida. So St. John's,
they're in the lower bracket, right?
Yeah, they right there with Florida. But they'll make the John's and it'll be the final 8. Yeah, for them.
Yeah, he said the final 4. That's why I was saying that.
Yeah, it'll be the final 8.
The Elite 8, right?
The Elite 8.
No,
I mean,
Florida,
Elite 8.
Ain't these two right here the final 4? The 2 brackets right there in the middle of the final 4?
Yeah, it is.
This right here, is one bracket.
Yeah, that down there is cut off in half. Oh, so you didn't go all the way up.
Right. This is the final 4 right here. So this one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here.
Florida and St. John's will meet at the final 8 if they both fall.
So if Tennessee has to go down. If Tennessee has to play Purdue, I'm giving Purdue I'm giving Purdue the Final Four on that bracket. I'm giving Florida the Final Four on this bracket. They beat St. John's to make it to the Final Four. Purdue beats Tennessee to make it to the Final Four. Go up.
Mm-hmm.
You got Auburn, Creighton, Michigan. Actually, I'm gonna go Michigan State.
Ooh, Michigan State.
I think they beat Texas A&M to get in the Final Four. And over here in this bracket, go up. You got to give it to Duke. I don't think anybody's going to beat Duke over there in that bracket. So I got Duke, Purdue, Florida, Michigan State.
Isn't Alabama in that bracket too?
Yeah, they in that Duke bracket.
I think Duke beats them.
I think Duke going to get took out by Baylor. But you know that's
back.
Yeah, he back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's saying he's 100%. I don't think he's 100%.
I don't think he's 100% either. That's what I was telling Leaf the other day.
80% Cooper Flag gets them in there, man.
Oh, I know.
Nah, it don't. Because they've been 100%, man, and they have failed. But nah, man, for real, I think Duke makes the Elite Eight. And I don't know, man. You cannot sleep on Wisconsin, and you cannot sleep on Alabama. So I think one of those teams are going to take them out. If I had to pick, I'm going to go with Bama. I don't know. For some reason, it seems like they trying to transition to taking over basketball now since they ain't got football no more.
Well, Bama and Wisconsin going to play first anyway before they get to Duke. So they ain't.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. If I had to pick between Wisconsin and Bama, because I think those would be the two, I think it's going to be Bama, and I think Bama beats Duke. I think that bracket is kind of chalk right there. Because VCU was my upset team, and we'll see about Baylor. I think Baylor might upset Duke. But anyway, I got Bama, and then I got the Tar Heels here. I got the Tar Heels as the upset special. Nah, let me stop playing. They stink. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I think this Texas A&M team might get
very
there.
Good too.
They might get there. So I got Texas A&M. Bama. Something going on with that little Southeast Conference there. But in this bracket here, we taking it back to the East, baby. I got the Johnnies off rip. Let's go. I got St. John's coming out of this.
My Gators are due, man. My Gators are due.
Gators and had they shine, man, back in the day with Joakim Noah and Brewer and all of them, man. But it's the Johnny's time.
That Patino magic is something about it this year. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to say they're going back to the glory years of Chris Mullin, Walter Berry, Bill Weddington, Mark Jackson, but they're playing something different out there in Queens, and I have been impressed. I really have been impressed by what Patino is doing. I mean, getting Richardson number one to come over to leave Seton Hall, another Big East team, to come to St. John's. That's big right there in itself. Most kids when they transfer out, they leave the conference. So for him to stay in the conference, and you have what's his name, who was Player of the Year from. I mean, he's taking it back to Felipe Lopez back in the day, the way he played.
Yeah, Felipe Lopez.
So,
nice.
Nice.
So I mean, I'm not sleeping on Florida, but I'm saying, I think if those two meet, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be an absolute battle where you better get your popcorn, you better get your beer, your pizza, get everything out, let it sit in front of you, and do not leave. If you got you a little personal bottle that you keep on the side, so you can handle the business. So you don't want to miss any second of action. So, so I'm serious, man. It's like that might be the biggest game if they both can make it to the Elite Eight. That might be the biggest game of the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. And I'm gonna tell you what. Out of this bracket right here, the Midwest bracket, I'm gonna go with Kentucky. I think it's gonna be Kentucky and St. John's. How about that? Well, no, it won't be Kentucky and St. John's. They'll have to meet in a championship game. But what if that happened?
Hell no.
What if that happened?
Man, Kentucky ain't going nowhere.
You don't think Kentucky can get by Houston? I think Houston.
I do think the SEC is going to be dominant in the Elite Eight. I do believe that. It's going to be about four.
I got Bama, Texas A&M, St. John's, and Kentucky. I don't got no number one seeds making it.
Better have one, and that's Florida, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Florida.
Come on, bro.
Nah, what he's saying is true. Florida's a tough team, bro. They could score. That's the thing in this tournament. If you can score, you're gonna beat a lot of teams because pressure bust pipes and a lot of teams get pressure. But if you can score, you can't be having droughts in there. And if you're a scoring team, you're gonna win a lot of these games. Good guard play and scoring. That's all I say is like Florida, Alabama can score. Florida can score.
And Alabama also has good rim protection with Cliff Omarui from former Rutgers.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. So we're gonna transition here to a little bit of NBA draft talk, man, because we're talking college, and we got the Knicks, Nets, Bulls fans here. So,
Mavs, man.
Yeah. Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you telling Anthony Davis to stay away.
RJ Lewis. That's who he is. RJ Lewis is from for St. John's. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. But y'all stay tuned. We're gonna get into the NBA rundown. And we're gonna talk some NBA draft and what are some of these teams going to do? What are some of these teams looking at? And who might land some of the top prospects? All that and more. Y'all stay tuned. Hit that like button. All right, man. Let's get back into it, man. Let's get back into it. Got a little bit of groovy music. All right, man. Have a little fun, man. Come on, man. Let's talk about it though, man. So this is from Tankathon. Now, this is still early in the NBA draft process because, you still got the college season going on as well as the NBA season. So this is just light work, y'all. It's light work for us. And we just going to do a little bit of conversation, as I like to say, about some of these top prospects. Some of them are playing in the NCAA tournament and some are not. So they got Cooper Flag right here, number 1 to the Wizards. Cave, that's your man's.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cooper Flag a lock to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft?
He's been a lock since day one, man. He's still going to be a lock to be number 1. And then sometimes depend who the team is picking too. But yeah, but even I don't care what team is, they're still going to pick Cooper Flag number 1. So I mean, unless somebody unseats him, because I don't see it.
What about Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Cole?
Yeah, those are good players.
Those are your boys from Rutgers.
Dylan Harper is plug and play. Dylan Harper is plug and play right now, and he will run a franchise from your lead guard spot. In good height, fundamentally sound. He's learned to play a better brand of defense. Even though Rutgers has not had a great season, I'm the first to admit it, but he was out there balling. He really was. So he's ready for the NBA. He's ready to be that lead guard. Ace Bailey has a great skill set. He needs to be worked on. He needs to get stronger. He's a little bit of slight of weight, but once he gets the weight on, he has a nice shot. He can take you off the dribble. He's 3 levels. He can post you up. Actually, both of them can. So, and he can play some good defense. So. They're both ready. To me, if I was going number 1, I don't care which team it is. It's Dylan Harper. It really is. The only team I would say that I couldn't see them taking Dylan Harper is the Sixers, if they're at the number 1 spot.
Because of Maxey? Because
of Maxey and what's his name, McCain.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't see them taking Harper. Then that's where Flag and Bailey come into play, and I could see probably going, depending, on how they go, and as Mitch says, get rid of the head coach. So if you do that, then who's going to be the coach? So all that factors in. So, but I know Cave is a Dookie, so that's why he's a Cooper Flag. Me, I'm a Scarlet Knight. That's why I'm partial to Harper and Bailey. So,
but I'm gonna say this,
it really depends on the team. It really does.
It does. But I'm gonna say this. The reason why I say it's Cooper Flag is because he hasn't played with an elite point guard. Dylan Harper's an elite point guard with Ace Bailey, and you know what I'm saying. When Duke had elite point guards like Kyrie Irving, Jason Williams, they've been like out of this world. So Cooper Flag hasn't played with an elite point guard. They don't have an elite point guard on their roster, even though the guards are good, but they're not no Kyrie Irving or no Jason Williams type point guards. And Cooper Flag still doing what he got to do.
The Cooper Flag has a full team around him. The thing that hurt Rutgers, they don't have it. It was Harper and Bailey and nothing else. I mean, I said it earlier today. What hurt Rutgers is the transfer portal. They did not bring the right type of players in here. From the transfer portal. They brought in guys who, they really were the bottom of the heap. You got the fan base a little bit hyped up because you were trying to amp them up, but when it came to the play, and Jeremiah Williams last year he was playing some good basketball. This year he didn't play any good basketball, so that's why it was. And Harper and Bailey.
Coach, you can say the same thing for us too. We got like 7, 8 dudes that left. We got a new team too, bro.
But you always get the elite talent. You get the elite talent at Duke every year, no matter what.
Every year, they do.
Not just 2. You get 5, 6.
Okay, yeah.
Rutgers had 2, and then that's it. Nothing else. Look at it this way, also. Harper was at 19.4 and Bailey was at 17.9, if I'm not mistaken. The next closest was another freshman, Lathan Somerville, at 7.8. I mean, that's a big difference. And when you brought in, I think 3 seniors who were supposed to, help this program. Yeah, and they didn't give us anything. They didn't give anything. So that's the point I'm making. Cooper Flag, he may not have had an elite point guard around him, but he has other 5-star talent around him to help him no matter what. Bailey and Harper, they were the whole team.
Now, I want to bring Pat in here real quick. Now, Pat, they got your Bulls your Chicago Bulls at 9. Now, this is a simulated lottery. We can hit the sim lottery button and goof around with it, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that on this episode.
Right.
But, Pat, how you pronounce Milo?
Came in Malawach.
Yeah. Came in Malawach.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what the Bulls need?
Yeah, we need a big man down there to help out Vucevic. And who knows how long Vucevic is going to be here, because he's going to want to win some games. Malawach 7'2" can work on his offensive game a little bit, but I do believe he'll be a good defensive player when he first gets into the league. He's 7'2", he has a lot of length, so he can be that big man down there for when Josh Giddey wants to, get the plan. Hopefully Lonzo Ball stays healthy. Kobe White is actually doing pretty doggone good. So we got a core. We just need that guy that we can depend on night in, night out. And they tried that with Zach LaVine. Didn't work out. DeMar DeRozan went back to Sacramento. So is he going to be that superstar guy that we need? No, but if we can keep Vucevic and put him out there with him, we can compete with some of those bigger teams over there in the East. You know what I'm saying? So as long as Kobe White and Lonzo Ball stay healthy and Josh Giddey continues to progress with those two guys down there, we got a formidable team. We won't be in the lottery no more. Yeah, Patrick Williams stays healthy. We won't be a lottery team anymore, I'll tell you that. We'll be better than the Pacers.
Yeah, man. Most definitely. And I'm looking at this.
I'd love to see Dylan Harper go to the Bulls.
I would love to see Dylan Harper come to us.
Ron Harper. Yep, Ron Harper. Yeah.
Dylan Harper needs to be in Brooklyn.
Can he play the 3? I'm going to ask Coach, can he play the 3?
Oh, Dylan?
We got Lonzo at the 1, Kobe White at the 2. Can Dylan Harper play the 3?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I think Dylan Harper is a better lead guard than Lonzo Ball.
You're not drafting him to put him at the 3. I'll tell you that right now.
Can he play it? I think he's
in a small ball lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he can. But he's been groomed not just by his dad. His mom is a basketball aficionado, and she has been on it. And he's been groomed to be that lead guard, man. And he has good size. People talk about his athleticism. He's sneaky athletic, man. He really is. He's a legitimate 6'6", 6'7", and he's thickly built. He can shoot the 3. Now he needs to improve on it, but his handles and the way he attacks the paint. Dare I say he's more of a bigger version of Jalen Brunson at times. With his moves, the way he sets you up, and he'll attack you, and he'll take you down low, and like I said, take you off the dribble. So, Pat, can he play the 3? I mean, he can on occasion, but I would not want him playing the 3 for the whole year. I just wouldn't. He's a true.
Lonzo then, because Lonzo's the 1, and Kobe White, you're not putting him on the bench.
No, I understand. That's why I'm saying.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Not to cut you, Coach, but I'm getting rid of Lonzo Ball, bro. I'm telling you, Dylan Harper is a better prospect than Lonzo Ball could be. I'm just being honest with you, man. Like, as far as scoring, shot creation, distributing the basketball, it'll probably be more of a combo guard in the NBA. The NBA these days, it's not a lot of pure point guards, but he's going to be a much better shooter and scorer than anything Lonzo Ball could put out there.
I will give you that. That is very true. I will give you that. He will be a better scorer.
Now, if you want to say a small forward for the Bulls, I'll be honest with you, that's Ace Bailey. That's Ace Bailey, legitimate 6'10". He's probably going to get up to about 7 feet by the time he's done. Look, his age is 18, barely 19 years old. So you expect him to probably go another 1 to 2 inches. And when I say, people have said his game trend is very similar to KD when KD was coming out of Texas. And I think that's a good comparison. Still needs to develop a little bit more and get stronger. But yeah, if you want a small forward, if that's what you're looking for, I would say Ace Bailey. Cooper Flag, I mean, I get it. He can play both small and power, so he's probably a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Thicker in terms of his build, but, he gives you a little bit more versatility. Ace can play the power forward, but not on a regular basis, because not just right now. Now, if he develops his strength, because I think that, and he was working out with Giannis, and I showed it to NYG, and he was picking up Giannis's moves, man. He was picking it up. He's very smart. It's just that he's very slight right now, but I'm telling you, he has a beautiful shot, when he gets on. So he just has to be consistent with it. So, and there's his totals throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part,
definitely, man. Ace Bailey, I think, will be a perfect fit for the Bulls.
37 against Northwestern.
Fire, man. Definitely.
That would scare me, putting him with Ball and White and Vucevic. Now that would scare me, because now you can let him just play his game. He doesn't have to be the focal point from a team's defense, and you'll see him grow. You want a small forward, Pat? Pull up the tape from Ace Bailey and just watch him.
Pull up the tape on who?
Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey. Yeah, he's nice. Yeah, I like Ace Bailey too. I think, man, 6'10" small forward, that would be nice as well. If let's just say Vucevic is in for the long run, I will have a hard time passing on Ace Bailey too. I will actually take him because he will actually add more offense to our team, which we need more offense. But damn it, man, if Vucevic could just play bigger down there in the post, as far as defensive wise, we wouldn't need to get another big man like that. But
and these are the top small forwards right here. You got Flag, you got Bailey. I can't pronounce this name. I'm so sorry. I hate butchering people's names. Liam McNeely and Hugo Gonzalez. So those are some small forwards. If you're a Bulls fan or any NBA team fan that's looking for your team to draft a small forward, of course, the prize is Flag. I would say Ace Bailey is a strong runner-up. And, I mean, you got some other good prospects here. A couple of people from overseas. And then you got the standout Liam McNeely from UConn. So, a lot of not bad options. They say this is one of the better drafts. As far as depth is concerned, they always rank in these drafts, but I don't really like getting into all that. I don't like getting into all that. But what we are going to get into is a message from our sponsor, man. Shout out to my boy, this cat right here, this Man Cave. Check him out, Knicks at Night. Check him out on all the New York Knicks live cast, and we're going to play the commercial. Be right back.
Who's got the rocket launcher? I say we blow it up. Now fire that thing.
For the city of sports, playing with a giant Nick. With my man S. Dot Dog.
That's him.
You feel the vibe?
That's me.
We going live.
That's us.
That like button shared, you been subscribed.
Stadium.
That MetLife Big Blue, home of the Braves.
Yeah.
That turnpike, you can see that's where the game's played. NFL one day, then it's the NBA. Madison Square Garden, that's where the Knicks play. This that NY Logan, no it don't get broken. Legalized, mean this shit smoking. I'm on topic, dropping another episode. The game winner, trade, maybe a field goal. Everybody right now doing the wave. You tune in the show called The Man Cave. I see the chat, they always doing their thing. Big views, 85 inch screen. The game's on, you rush and bleed. Stay calm, you on the road and chill. Do the watch along. The show's on, the host, you know it's S-God. It's no telling the panel filled with guest stars. You now rocking with the voice, you know what it is. It's your boy J Boogie. You now rocking with my man S-God. I support him to the fullest, you heard? My man Mike Blaze. This is Alter Production. What that mean? We about to alter everything that's playing. Tune in. My man S.God. Support the show. Subscribe, share it. Most importantly, hit that like button.
Alright. We about to wrap this thing up, man. But before we do, man, we gotta talk about the NBA. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's almost NBA playoff team time, I should say. We got 2 Knicks fans in the building, and a Chicago Bull fan, and a Brooklyn Nets fan. We ain't going nowhere.
Right.
We sitting there looking. So, but we do want to talk about the playoffs, man. So check it out. We got the Cavs. We got the Celtics. They're already locked in. Locked in. New York Knicks. Number 3, Pacers. Those pesky Pacers always hanging around, waiting to knock off a New York Knicks, man. Yeah. you gotta hate the Pacers if you're a Knicks fan, because they always there. Bucks right there, of course, in the 5th spot. Pistons, one of the surprise teams of the NBA, locking down number 6. And then you have those bubble teams, those play-in teams. Let's start with the Hawks, 33 and 36. Magic coming in at 32 and 38. Pat's Bulls, 29 and 40, as are the Miami Heat. All right, y'all. Let's talk playoffs. How is this thing going to shape out? And what are some of the matchups you're looking forward to? And what are some of the questions that you have going in to the NBA playoffs? Let's just start with the Eastern Conference right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually intrigued by that Knicks Pistons. That Knicks Pistons series can actually be pretty interesting, man, because I don't think the Pistons are going to lay down to the Knicks. I know Brunson is coming back from the injury. So there's like 13 games left.
Mm-hmm.
That Pistons Knicks, if that stays 3-6, woo. Now if y'all get the Bucks, I think y'all run the Bucks out of town. But man, that Pistons team can be dangerous, man. They're young, they're motivated. Dude, they like the number 12 seed in the NCAA tournament, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. They ain't got no reputation to lose. They ain't got no superstar player over there that's like, oh, if he loses, he's going to lose it. There's a bunch of young dudes over there playing hard basketball, and they're looking to take somebody down. That's going to be an interesting series, man. I'm telling you.
You scared, man, Cave?
Nope, not at
Scared
all,
of the
man.
Pistons?
Nah, not at all.
Talk
man.
about it, Brody.
Not at all, man. Pistons are they're a good young team, man. Pistons, but like I said, we'll see if it's the Pistons, we'll see if it's the Bucks, or who's the other team, the Pacers. Any one of those teams, I'll be good with any one of those teams, man. Compared to like an Orlando team, you know what I'm saying? Orlando's a much more rugged team than those other guys and stuff like that. So Pistons got a little physicality too. But like I said, I just want to see, where Mitch, you know what I'm saying, by the playoff time, get that rust off, and like, you know what I'm saying. So that'll be where we going with Mitch and stuff like that. So I'm feeling good as far as the rebounding and stuff like that. Second chance, eliminating second chance points, like I always say on my podcast and stuff like that. And Mitch helps with that, like I said. So hey, man, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for any one of those 3 guys that we see. Pacers would be nice too. Like I said, payback would be nice. You know what I'm saying? A dish well served cold. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, all right, man, Cave. Talking that ish. You already know what it is. Coach, what matchup are you looking forward to? Possibly in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Given, I know it's still some seeding to be going on, but just give us a storyline or something that you're looking forward to as far as the Eastern Conference.
To anything. I'm not looking for it, but I have concerns. I think the Knicks lose the number 3 spot.
Maybe what's best.
It's not a matter of what's best; it's what's trending. You just lost to Charlotte, and you lost to Charlotte. Bench points. I'm just going to speak on that. 37-11. What's going on? This is something that continues under Tibbs' watch, man. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but is he overusing the starting lineups? And are you not giving the guys off the bench enough to get into a rhythm? That concerns me. And if you're doing this going into the playoffs, it doesn't matter who you play. You might be a first round exit. And that concerns me. And that's just my unpopular opinion, but that's really what concerns me.
Let me ask you something real quick, Coach. About this Thibodeau thing. That narrative of Thibodeau continuously, putting his players in for extended minutes and tiring his players out. Is that a narrative that's weak right now? Because I think that's a weak narrative to me, to be honest with you. I think that's a weak narrative. I think he's changed his philosophy as a head coach. I think he's got this coach. I think he's gotten this team to a level that New York fans, let's be honest, y'all haven't been this excited about the Knicks in decades. So when the team struggles, it's always, Thibodeau, he's playing them too much. Like, come on, man. Like, I would like to see the average minutes these guys are playing. Where's the Josh Hart showing up?
You have 3 of the top 6 in terms of minutes in the league. You have 3 in the top 6. And I think Bridges is he leading the league still, or is he up there? I think he's like 1 or 2. He was like averaging close to 40, or what was he averaging? Like 40 minutes?
There's 48 minutes in a basketball game, correct? So you got your starters averaging 35 minutes.
They'll go 8 minutes right there, yeah.
Your starters are averaging, let's just say your starters are averaging 36 minutes a game. You got 37-7, 37-7, 36-7, 35-4. So it's around 36.4 minutes per game. Or you could, 36, we're around that 36.5, 36.7 minutes a game. Do you think that's too many minutes for starters? Let's go back to the Knicks with Patrick Ewing and all those guys. Were they averaging around 36 minutes per game, Anthony Mason and all those guys?
Patrick, would you say Patrick was about 36 minutes, Cave? I think Patrick was about 36
unless he was
minutes.
in foul trouble or something like that.
Yeah, Oak was about 35 minutes. But they also had a bench that, would get the minutes too. Like, you could look at the minutes right there, and it's really, 7 that are really getting the minutes?
Okay, so let's look at your bench.
Mitchell Robinson just came back. So I'm not going to include him in that.
Okay,
his is going to increase.
So look at
to go Pat Ewing's minutes right there.
He averaged what? It looked like 38.
38.
And 89-90, he averaged 38. For his career, he averaged 34.3.
So 34.3 for Pat Ewing. That's a center, so you got to include foul trouble and things of such. So, okay, let's go back to your bench minutes on this current team. If we can get back to that graph.
I got you.
Me personally, Pat, I don't think it's weak. It's just I sat and watched them, and this team continues to wear down late in the season, and that concerns me.
Yeah, so the bench starts right at Miles McBride.
Mm-hmm.
So Miles McBride is averaging 24 minutes as the backup point guard to Jalen Brunson. Can you tell me if 24? Would you want to see Miles McBride on the court more than 25 minutes per game?
If you push him to 27, I'm fine with that. But his minutes, I'm fine with. Precious Achiuwa is about.
I mean, he's averaging basically 21 minutes per game. Would you want him playing more minutes than that?
That's the problem, though.
You see what I'm saying? So when
the thing that's hurt them is not having Mitchell Robinson this whole season.
So
Mitchell Robinson
back now.
He's at 16, but they got him on a minutes restriction. Once it's off, you're going to see him getting to about 28 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. So Mitchell
and
Robinson,
Josh Hart's minutes will reduce. I think that's the one who's going to, because he's going to have to go to the bench if you start Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. So this is the point I'm trying to get to. Mm-hmm. When Mitchell Robinson gets healthy, Josh Hart's minutes will go from 37 probably down to 30 at best. When Mitchell Robinson gets healthy, Josh Hart's minutes are going to go down. I do believe Miles Bridges' minutes can go down because that defense that you have with Mitchell Robinson out there, Miles Bridges can get a rest, so you can let Achiuwa or Landry Shamet get more minutes. I do believe Jericho Sims' minutes goes up just a tad.
Jericho Sims is gone. He was traded to Milwaukee.
Oh, he was traded to I'm sorry, then. The people that Knicks fans should be looking at is Cameron Payne, because he was brought there to bring shooting and point guard ability off the bench behind, Miles McBride. It was supposed to be him and McBride coming in there to give Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and maybe Miles Bridges a little bit of rest on the bench. You shouldn't be looking at Thibodeau. I'm just going to be honest with you. You should be looking at your bench. Cameron Payne, Mitchell Robinson, when he gets healthy, we see what he does. Precious Achiuwa, can he give you better minutes when he get out there? And you brought in a veteran in Landry Shamet, so he should be able to push people like OG Anunoby to get a little bit of rest where OG Anunoby's minutes go down to 32. And maybe Landry Shamet should be getting about 17 minutes. But can you trust your bench? You just said that your bench has been awful.
Yeah, but that's
so now. Who do you turn to?
Now let me ask y'all this. So, given the circumstance with this New York Knicks team, and you're looking at the landscape of the NBA, regardless or not, whether Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, and this whole team is healthy, do they have enough to get past a team like the Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference? That's what I need to ask.
Nah, at this place, nah. And that's the mystery that like people talk about. Like 3-4 years ago, the Knicks was a deep team. They're not a deep team like they were before because they traded all them guys in trades. The guys that we got, we didn't get them in free agency. The Carl Anthony trade, the Mikal Bridges trade, and OG Anunoby trade, Yeah, the bench is weak. But at the same time, what Knicks fans are saying is like you got starters playing 40-something minutes on back-to-back games, and like he'll run them out there if they're not in foul trouble or they don't That's the problem. And like I said, this narrative has been always. It's never been just the Knicks. It's been with the Chicago Bulls when he was the coach of the Bulls. He ran those guys into the ground too. You know what I'm saying? It's always been the Bulls. Minnesota's a young team, so that's a little different. But the Knicks, like I said, is the same thing too. And we watch it. We're looking at the game. The Knicks could be about 20 points. Why you still got the starters in the game? They could be down 20. Why you still got the starters in the game? That's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a narrative. That's true. And NBA analysts, everybody says that when they look at it, they run the starters too much. You look at OKC and Boston. When you play those guys are getting rest. Their guys are playing, but they're getting a lot of rest. Shai Gilgeous be sitting on the bench for like he played like 29 minutes in the whole game or 30 minutes, and that's about it. Because they trust their bench players, and even if they don't trust their bench players, they're going to play their bench players. But Tom Thibodeau, at the beginning of the season, he was only playing like 3 guys off the bench. How you go to a short rotation in the beginning of a season? It's a long season. You don't just play 3 guys off the bench. You play 5. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just recently because of injuries that he's starting to play more players. But if these guys wasn't injured, they would be playing 40-something minutes. It don't even matter, back-to-back games. And watch, in the playoffs, they'll be playing 40-something minutes as starters.
So, let's take a look at the Western Conference here for a second, fellas. Because I'm feeling like the East is a 2-team race between the Celtics and the Cavs. But out West, totally different story. It's wide open, the wild, wild West.
Is it
you got
really?
OKC. Yeah,
It's really wide open.
I think it is, because you can make a case for Oklahoma City. You can make a case for the Lakers, who have been balling lately. You can make a case for the Warriors, who have been balling lately. The Denver Nuggets are still former champions.
Fair.
And never count out the Grizzlies. And I ain't really feeling none of these other teams, but them top 6, yeah, I think it's a dog race, man. How y'all feeling about that, man? Talk to him, Coach.
I mean, you made an excellent point. I mean, you can't look at the lead that OKC has. It's come playoff time, it's a whole different ball game. And you said you're not worrying about the 7 through 10, but you know what? Minnesota,
yeah, that's a team.
Minnesota, and they're talking about Julius Randle now is starting to step up out there, and DiVincenzo now he's been hurt, so that's why he's starting to get into his rhythm. Diva was hurt for a while, so and you got Ant, so they could surprise teams. I'm not going to say they can win it all, but they could be a team that could surprise teams. Now they got to get in. They have to get in. They're in the play-in, but and how many games are they behind Memphis? They're what, 3.5? 3.5. So it's not like they can't catch Memphis, or Denver, or the Lakers. That's like true. You said, the Lakers have been playing some good ball, and LeBron has been out. So when he comes back, he's going to take it to another level. So but you made an excellent point as far as all those teams. Right now, I could say maybe 7. I don't know about the Clippers. I really don't know what they're doing. I didn't Kawhi just have like 30 points and hit a game winner just recently, if I'm not mistaken? So how do they play? And Harden, I heard that he had how many he had with a 50 piece recently.
He ain't gonna do that.
It's not that he's going to do it. What I'm saying is now his game is showing that he can play with a little bit more confidence. So what are they doing? What are they doing over there, and how is his role? So like you said, the West is going to be tough. The East, you could say, is 2 teams. The West, legitimate, okay, 6 maybe. If teams get hot, and it could get to 8. And Phoenix is on the outside, but
they done.
I'm never going to say they're done until they're officially done.
I'm saying they're done.
That's you, not me. I can't do it, just as yet. It's still a little bit too early, but
as far as the playoffs is concerned, yeah, they might get in there, but they ain't going nowhere.
No, I'm talking about getting into the playoffs. That's my.
Oh yeah. They got a shot at that, of course. So, they are right there in the 10th spot,
and they're in the play-in. So my point is, they can knock off any of those teams in front of them, so.
Absolutely. They could beat the Clippers. I can see that. So but it's a lot of teams in the Western Conference, man. And one thing I want y'all to pay attention to, it is regular season, but look at conference records. When you look at some of these teams, man, you look at the conference records of OKC, 32-11. The Lakers, 30-13.
In Minnesota,
29-19. Grizzlies 25-18. Denver 27-16.
That's fair.
So a lot of these teams that do well in conference, because that's the teams you're gonna be playing.
Do me a favor, go up to the East
division.
Go up to the East. Go up to the East.
I didn't look at
that. I didn't look at that of the East.
Cleveland 38-11.
I gotta back off with the Knicks. Other than the top two teams, they're 29-14.
29-14. So that tells me, that they do well against their conference.
Milwaukee 27-19.
That's going to be a team to watch out for.
Okay.
Atlanta's going to be a team to watch out for. They could be dangerous.
Good point. That's something I did not even take into consideration. So,
always pay attention to conference and division records, because these are the teams you're going to be playing and you're in the playoffs.
The Knicks are 10-3 in the division. Oh wow! I didn't even. I'm being hard on the Knicks, probably because my expectations are a lot higher.
But those losses are to the Celtics, though. That's the only thing.
I get it.
That's the only problem. That's the team you got to get by.
The point is, I mean, maybe they can get by the first round, and that's who you meet in the second round.
I think they're definitely going to get by the first round. I ain't going to hold you. You know, as much as I talk smack about the Knicks, they're getting by the first round.
It's just that Pistons team. I'm not saying the Pistons going to beat them.
Look at the Pistons, 26-21 in conference. They're not ready yet, and they're 4-9 in their division. They've been beating up on bad teams. That's what that tells me.
Listen to me. You can say all that you want, but when you get a team that has nothing to lose in the playoffs, I don't care what sport it is.
That is true.
It always happens, bro. I'm telling you.
Couple things though, not to debate you, but you talked about Tom Thibodeau. That's an experienced coach, and you also got to look at the team. You know, you got a lot of young players on the Pistons. You got some experienced players on the Knicks who have been in the playoffs already. So those are two things to just watch out for, man. But this has been great, man. This has been great. Before we wrap it up, I want y'all to talk a little bit about the W. Coach, I know you got a little bit. Cave, you got a little bit. Coach, I shared something with you earlier. I'm going to bring it up right now because we can't end the podcast without talking about the ladies, man. Coach gonna be upset with me. So let's talk about the ladies. Malika Walker shared her NCAA March Madness All-Americans. Might be hard to see here, but you got Juju Watkins, Laura Betts, Paige Beckers, Madison Booker, and
Hidalgo.
So Coach, I'm gonna let you talk here a little bit about the ladies, man, and discuss
the W
what you're seeing out there. You could tie it in. You could talk about this first, and then if you want to talk about the upcoming season with the WNBA.
I mean, right now, if you look at this, I think all of these women are coming. Wait a minute, let me double check. Hidalgo, Hannah, and what you call both coming out. I don't know about Booker. I don't know about Booker. Beckers is coming out. I think Betts is coming out. Watkins, no, is not coming out this year. So you're going to have 3 of the, I think, top 7, if I'm not mistaken. Who are going to be coming into what your Beckers is going to be more than likely the number 1 overall pick. So unless it's what's the other guard from Notre Dame?
That's Hidalgo, Hannah Hidalgo.
Yeah. So
is Olivia Miles coming out too? I think Olivia Miles is coming out.
I think Miles is coming out too. That's what I was talking about. So they're definitely going to be in the tops right there, at least in the top 6. You know, so it's going to be interesting, especially this year going into the WNBA. A lot of movement with teams. I mean, whatchamacallit going from Seattle to the Aces. I mean, and then but you let what's her name go to LA. What's her name?
Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum. You know, so how is Jewel going to fit into their lineup? You know, the Aces. I think they're going to be very, very, very hungry to get back into contention and to prove how elite of a program that they are. So, but you know, Phoenix is a little. I have to wait and see with them because you know, yes, you lost Diana Taurasi, you lost Brittany Griner, but you have Kalia Copper, you have Alyssa Thomas coming over there, so you have some key pieces that can, you know, can they make a push for a championship out in Phoenix? So it's a wait and see right there in terms of Phoenix. Dallas, I'm waiting to see. I mean, they're going to get a lot of young players, but is Satu ready to? And what's her name?
She's not there no more.
Who?
Sabli's not there in Dallas no more. I think she's in Phoenix. I think she got traded or something like that. Because she requested a trade.
You're right. She did get traded.
She's not in. Yeah.
So yeah, no. They only have what's her name? Arika. Yeah, still there. So, back off on Dallas. So that's what's going to help Phoenix then right there with Alyssa Thomas and Aaliyah Copper. So, I mean, and then out east, you know, the Fever quietly. Whoo! They concern me. They got my girl came over from Phoenix. Sophia Cunningham. Love me some Sophia, but that girl can shoot and she is gritty. She is nasty and she will not back down from any. Getting Stephanie White, the head coach, leaving Connecticut to go over to Indiana, and then you're adding that to Caitlin Clark and everyone.
Aaliyah
Boston. Your girl NYG. Kelsey Mitchell.
Cardoza.
No, that's
Chicago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chicago's getting a new head coach. They fired Teaspoon after one season, so I'm waiting to see. Yeah, so you know, I'm waiting to see my Liberty getting Natasha Cloud. Oh my, that's a dog. That's a dog. And she can start at the point guard. She can take the pressure off of Sabrina, and she just fits right in. And yes, I don't. It's
an upgrade on Courtney.
Yes, and you're moving Leona Phoebus to the bench, but now Leona gets you, you know, still can get you buckets, and she can play some defense. And you know what? She can also spell Benijah, you know, because Benijah has injuries now. She's a little bit older, so you know. And if you want to move Benijah to the bench, I understand. But you know, you're probably going to put Phoebus over there. You're bringing back. I heard they're bringing back my girl Marina Johannes. You bringing her back?
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I'm loving it. If she definitely comes over from France. So I'm just loving it. And they're ready to make a strong run. So it's going to be a lot of great action. You got the new team out in Golden State, the Valkyrie. It hurt me. It hurt me that Kayla Thornton ended up going out there because she's one of those glue pieces, you know. But that's where Phoebus can go to the bench.
Right? 2 teams.
No, they only got one. Toronto comes out next year.
Toronto's next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you're still trying to decide the other teams. I think.
I think Cleveland's trying to get a franchise. I think
Cleveland, Philadelphia, Miami are the ones that are trying to get a franchise. So, but yeah, Atlanta is going to be tough, especially because you have Ryan Howard. You have whatchamacallit, Brian, who just went over there. So I mean, you know, they're a team that, you know, is gritty and they got some ballers over there. So I'm trying to figure out where Natasha Heidemann went. I forgot where she went because she's a young one that But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I know Connecticut just broke that team up.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to let Marina Mabry go, but
they didn't trade her, right? Because she
yeah,
wanted to trade it.
she wanted to be traded. She would have been perfect for New York, man. I ain't gonna lie, because she's a Jersey girl, Jersey Shore girl, and she plays.
You know who I
defense.
wanted Carrington, Dejanay Carrington. I want Carrington, bro.
That's who went to Dallas. She went to Dallas. Yes, Dejanay went to Dallas. I love me some Dejanay, man. I do. So, but yeah, I'm excited for the W. Once this gets the college season done, literally a week or two later, you got the draft, and then May come around, it's on and popping. So, and then the carryover from the 3-on-3 with the unrivaled. Yeah. I mean the Luna Owls 13-1. Everybody thought they were going to win it, and they did not win the championship. They lost in the semifinals to the number 4 seed. So, and then Chelsea Gray helped the Rose win that championship, and they did it without Angel Reese, who was out with injury. So, and Angel Reese was leading the league in rebounding. So, but the main point I'm saying is a lot of these women over there played at home. They love it. Now they can transition and not have to come from overseas. They're already here,
right?
So it's a good thing, and I'm really excited for this coming season. I mean, it's. Go ahead, Cave. I've done enough talking, man. You hear it. You already know,
man. Like I said, Angel Reese win?
Huh?
What championship did you say Angel Reese won?
The unrivaled 3-on-3. She was on the Rose with Chelsea Gray, with Ariel Atkins, what's her name, Stevens. They had on every last team. Look, Stewie was on the Mist, and Sabrina was on the Phantom, and they both came in last. That's how deep this tournament was, man. This league is, man. So, and it's just going to do nothing but get better going into next year, man. But again, the main point is these women are playing at home, so they're happy, and they're going to bring it right into the WNBA, and it's just I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Kay.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Kay.
Just like the WNBA, man, I'll be seeing how the teams be trading all these draft picks to get these. Trade the draft picks, man, because these star players that they getting are really good. Like somebody like. I'll give up 3 first and 2 first round pick for Arika. You know what I'm saying? For Dallas. These girls are like, you look at them, they balling like dudes. They ball like Jewel Lloyd. You know what I'm saying? Jewel Lloyd, like I said, her with Asia Wilson out there in Vegas, man. I'm like, wow. I was just like, and then like going back to like the college game, like Paige Beckers, you know what I'm saying? She's a great player, but I always, for now, I just put her in the same thing as Michael Penix. She's an injury away. She's gonna have some a couple of big injuries, man. It's just like, and she's a great player, but it's just like one more injury like that is like, cause she don't have 2 ACLs, I think.
Yeah,
so one more is like after that, it's like, dang, how many times you gonna keep doing that? You know what I'm saying? ACLs. You know what I'm saying? You get a third one, and then a fourth. It's like that. So that's the only thing that worries me about her. But she's a great player, man. Like I said, I wish nothing but the best for her. So
Juju though is that special one.
Juju
he already broke Caitlin Clark's sophomore record in terms of points, man.
Nice. She's like the Melo of she's like Carmelo Anthony, the female version of Carmelo, bro. Her game is that jumper, man.
She point.
Coach, you already know. You already know, Birdie. Yo, man, I'm telling y'all, man. But we're gonna wrap this up, man. This was dope, man. This was dope, bro. Definitely appreciate y'all fellas for joining on this Blacktop Podcast, man. So, hey, we're gonna be putting more of these out. Y'all stay tuned. Basketball season is popping right now. It is popping. NBA, WNBA on the way. March Madness out
right now.
Unrivaled, all kind of other things going on. Not to mention NBA draft coming up, man, in a few months. So y'all keep it locked right here with the Aboriginal Sports Network. Me, myself, of course, Unpopular Opinion Sports. We got S God in the building. And we got Mr. Coach Ed Gladney along with Big Pat Sports Talk in the background doing what he do. You already know what it is, man. So, that being said, y'all hit that like button. Any last words, fellas, before we get out of here?
Yeah, what's the name just got upset. Missouri's out. Drake took him out.
Drake took him. I told you.
11 out number 6. They took out the 6 seed. Man, that's only this the worst time of year. Like the crying, people just gonna be crying, man. It's like you work the whole season and your season is over, man. It's just like, man, that's the sad part about it. I mean, it's fun, but you know,
it is sad, man. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know what it is. You got to be prepared, like I said.
Right,
like I said earlier, you know, to coach. You going into these tournament games, you know it's one and done. And you're a big seed, you know they're gonna be headhunting. You gotta think. Some of these dudes, like Pat said, they ain't got nothing to lose. They trying to make a name for themselves, and they are on a big stage for the first time. Yo, I'm amped. I'm just thinking about me, myself. Yeah, if I had that opportunity, yo, I'm locked in. Yo, I'm hitting every jump.
More money. The wins you get, more money.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's go. Because at the end of the day, this is your only shot. Pretty much. When you come from the most smaller schools. Because you got to understand, they don't get those opportunities like Duke, North Carolina, Florida, and Kentucky, all these other schools, Kentucky. So they are always going to be ready to play. That's why I love the NCAA tournament. In my opinion, is the best tournament in sports. Beyond the NFL playoffs, MLB, all them playoffs.
Yep.
The NCAA tournament is the best because you don't know what's going to happen in that joint. You don't.
You don't.
But, Coach, any last words, man? Talk to him.
I mean, I'm more ready for the women's game, man. So I can't lie to you. It's not. I mean, I know a joke about the looks and all this, and there are some beautiful women there, but it's just I've always felt the women's game is more fundamentally sound than the men's game, and it brings a better appreciation for me in terms of watching the game and their hunger and their passion and everything that they got to go through in the past, going overseas, being away from your family, and then coming back here for a short period. I just appreciate it. And now with the Unrivaled, it's just like, I got to see a lot of it. And, it was just usually, you got a team that you're steady rooting for. Now it's just like, it was 6 teams, and I was just like, I don't know who to root for. Just play the game, and and now going into the W, my Liberty, getting Natasha Cloud, like I said, can we make that strong run?
Oh, Liberty.
Exactly. So
back to back, baby.
And that's what I'm looking for, and I mean, and I guess the new rival in a sense is probably going to be Atlanta. Because I'm like looking in the East. I mean, Chicago is still young and developing. Washington is not there. You have Atlanta, Connecticut now. What's happening up there? So can it be Atlanta with Brittany Griner and everyone that they have down there, and then out west? Who's it going to be? So you might get more teams there. So I'm just will the Aces get back up there? And I can't sleep on Seattle. Seattle still is going to be a sleeper team out there. So, and LA now because of Plum and putting her with Brinks and what's her name?
Cameron.
No, Cameron Brinks and
Jackson.
Jackson and the center. What's her name? Who was suing the Aces?
You talking about Hambridge?
Yeah, De'Erica Hamby. Yeah, so they can have a nice little lineup out there. So, so like I said, it's going to be an interesting season coming up. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm not taking away from anything from the NBA and the NCAA. I'm going to be watching them, but You know what my passion is behind the NFL. Behind college football. I'm sorry, man.
Carmilla Cardoso.
Yeah,
that's a good rivalry. Indiana and Chicago. That'll be a nice rivalry.
I forgot Indiana. So it could be Indiana, Atlanta, and New York.
I'm telling you, Indiana and Chicago, they want to come up.
Chicago. They didn't bring back what's her name as of yet. Kennedy.
Kennedy Carter. She left.
She was a free agent. I don't believe she's there right now. So right now you only have, I think it's Angel Reese and Cardozo, and I don't know who else do they have on their roster.
See what pick Chicago has in the draft.
They got to level up.
Yeah, and then you all like.
What if they get Juju?
That's for next year.
That's next year. That's next year.
Oh, damn.
And she'll be a junior, so she could stay actually to a senior year. But I'm more likely she's coming out.
Well, they got an NIL and all that. I'd stay in college forever if I was getting NIL.
Oh yeah.
I'll go back. Super duper senior.
Again,
this dude's 35.
I mean, you got State Farm as your sponsor. Yo, that's some yeah.
See that nil.
And I enroll now. Like, I still got it.
The nil deal works for the ladies' game, not so much for the men's game as far as like the top players. Because the top players trying to come out early so that way they can get to these NBA contracts. They trying to get to these NBA contracts.
I just seen a thing on SportsCenter with a manager, the team manager got an NIL deal. Stop playing with me. Stop playing.
Man, no
he got an NIL deal.
I'll go be a team manager.
All that good stuff.
I'll go be a team manager if I can get some NIL money. Yeah, really?
That's what I'm saying, yo. What's up, man? We got a new hustle, y'all. We're gonna all enroll in college and get these NIL money.
I'll go back to
forget YouTube, forget all this stuff.
So you know who's mad right now? All the old players are mad right now from college. They mad.
Yeah, they tight.
They could be getting paid a whole lot more money, bro.
You know what's so funny? I said that to someone. I'm like, damn, I was born at the wrong time, man. Because if I was born right now, or a little bit of in the past and playing right now, I'd be, yeah. They're like, all right. You paying $500,000? You gonna give me $1 million? All right. Yo, they're giving me $1 million at their school. I mean, I like your school, but that's $1 million right there.
So, hey, man, money took. Like, what we talking? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going where that bag is at. So, but let's hear from Pat before we get out of here, man. What's your thoughts on all this, Pat? NIL, college, basketball, and all this, man. Talk to him.
I believe the NIL is actually get ready to turn college sports. It's not as bad as in basketball as it is in football, but I'll stick to college football. NIL is turning college football into a money-hungry business. It's gonna get to the point where you're not getting the passion that you usually got from those athletes, because at first they was just playing for team pride. Now the thing that they should have done with this NIL money is you should have let those kids get their jersey sales as far as a percentage of their jersey sales for the team, for the players that are like Tim Tebow, whose jerseys was selling more than NFL, players. Those type players that actually are putting in the work and they're making themselves world renowned in college. Yes, they should be able to get some of their jersey sales, and all those kids should be. You know what I'm saying? And it's just making it where you're ruining some of these kids for life. Because first and foremost, if those kids don't make it and they're not using that NIL money correctly and putting money back for taxes, they're going to get killed with taxes after those years are up. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be crazy, man. I mean, should those athletes get paid a little something? Yeah. But you're making it where these dudes are like NFL players. Some of these guys are getting way more than NFL veterans. You know what I'm saying? Way more. Not just a little bit more, way more. When you get out of college and you got 3 NIL deals worth $30 million coming out of college, come on, man. With some of these kids, man, unless you got a real passion for the game and you just want to play the game, Half these dudes like Caleb Williams and them, they ain't gonna give a damn about going to the pros. I don't understand why they did it. I knew it was a bad idea when they did it. That's why people like Nick Saban was like, I'm out.
A lot of coaches, basketball coaches left too.
Yeah, they let a lot of them did leave, man. And again,
can't recruit that way. Yeah.
Because you got to recruit these players year after year. You got to keep recruiting them, even when they're on your team. The season's over, you got to recruit them.
Transfer portal, Transfer portal.
Transfer portal is changing the game too. So, I mean, you got to look at all these things and ask yourself, how sports are changing in the modern day era. And that is another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go on, get up on out of here. Get my funky beat playing. Y'all know what it is. Definitely hit that like, subscribe button. Subscribe to the Aboriginal Sports Network. Subscribe to Unpopular Opinion Sports, the Man Cave Podcast, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, and Big Pat Sports Talk. We are the Aboriginal Sports Network, at least part of it. And this is the Blacktop Podcast, man. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. And until the next episode, y'all know how we do. Get them deuces up. Holla.
Great.
K, the Raisin Man.
Or just the Giants organization that really put Daniel Jones in the forefront and carried him in that type of light, man, on national TV.
$223. The suspension also opens the door for the Texans to release Al-Shahir after.
Then in 1976, guess who was hired? At Teams fans. This is where preference plays the biggest.
But I'm gonna have to knock this down and get the oohs and ahs of Houston.
Welcome to the Aboriginal Sports Network.